Kia ora, Lara here, and I'm creating a layout for Confessions of a Paper Addict. You can purchase the cut files I'm using, and there's one free one, so you need to join the Confessions of a Paper Addict Facebook group to access that cut file. So to start with, I'm just using some acrylic gloss sprays on some white daisy cardstock because I want to create a bit of a background rather than it just being plain white. This month on Confessions of a Paper Addict Etsy store, you can get a great discount. I believe it is 30% off for the birthday month. So head on over, and it's a great time to stock up on some cut files from Virginia's Fabulous Designs. So today is part of a YouTube hop, so there'll be some other people linked down below who have also used one of the Confessions of a Paper Addict cut files and are documenting some kind of celebration. I've gone ahead and cut out the free cut file for this month that you can only access in the Facebook group, and it's a stitched birthday, which is really cool. I did have a few problems on the Cricut trying to get it to work. For some reason my computer did an update on it, and then the attachment wasn't working, but luckily my phone still did what it was meant to do, and I was able to get this cut. So I've used the Cake Day collection from Close to My Heart, and I've used one of the papers there that you can't see because I'm sticking foam tape on the back of it. I've used a sort of purpley pinky coloured paper with gifts all over it, and then I have used some different coloured embroidery floss around the edges to stitch around each of the letters. So the R is actually attached in the cut file, but in my stitching process it came away from the H, which it was connected to, and I just rolled with it. It didn't destroy it, it was just at a weakish point in the cut. I shrunk this down to be about 9 inches high, so it's a little bit smaller than it was when I first imported it. So just peeling off these backing pieces now. And then I'm going to spin that around and very carefully, because this foam tape's very sticky, sort of apply it so that it is straight on that white daisy cardstock. So you can see here how the splatters just add that little bit of dimension or that little variation on what otherwise could be a very plain background. So the other cut file I'm using here is one that's like Polaroids. It's got a cake and some balloons, and I'm going to use a technique that I've been enjoying a lot lately, which is actually watercolouring inside the shapes in the cut file rather than backing each one. So I did back the main cut file here with one of the Cake Day collection papers, and then I backed the inside piece with some white daisy cardstock, and so that gives me a really cool base for doing some painting. It's kind of like painting inside the lines, except they are raised lines, so they're cut file lines, which are kind of fun. It's actually quite fun putting the colours on and trying to add a little bit of depth with some different colours in behind or at different points in the process. So I've been doing the watercolouring bit on a few of my cut files. It just seems quite a nice way to add a little bit of down-to-earthness or something behind these cut files, and a little bit of that personal touch as well. So my water brush there has been getting quite dirty, which is why I was sort of brushing it off on my hands, but it became too much for my hands. It wasn't cleaning each time, so I did pull out one of my cloths just to do that there. So there's the colours, and I'm quite happy with how that's looking, but I decided that I'm going to paint around the background pieces on each of these as well. So the photos that I'm going to be documenting today are ones from my birthday last week, and yes, there was a cake day. My husband made not one but 2 cakes because I told him I didn't want to bought one from the place that he normally gets sort of goofy slab cakes from that don't really feel like birthday cakes at all. And he did try really hard to personalise that and make it really nice. So I'm going to sort of document a few of those photos, a couple of the gifts that I received, so here they are. I printed them 4:1 4x6 on my Canon selfie, and I'm now just trimming these down. So there's also a photo of myself that I took on my birthday, as well as I said before, some of the gifts. and the birthday cake. So I said that he made 2 birthday cakes. He made one that was mainly the birthday cake, but he also made a second one. I think he wasn't sure which one he'd end up icing, but he did ice the carrot cake, which was lovely, and we were able to take it away with us for the weekend to spend some time with my family, and enjoyed the rest of the carrot cake down there. So I decided that it needed something down the bottom, a ledge sort of for the birthday to sit on somehow. So I'm going to use the zip strip here, and this zip strip is cool. It's got candles all along it, which fits with the birthday cake in the photo, and I want it to tuck up under here. Now I sort of wondered whether this would be enough, but I end up having a few offcuts from this collection. And I must say that I didn't love this collection when I first pulled it out, but I have just about used it all up, and it's only just started being the feature collection for this month. So this dotty paper in particular has been a favourite, and I am going to get this nice gorgeous blue one that's got happy birthday all over it as well. You can just see it into the left there, that I'm trimming down to be able to slip onto the bottom of those. So the sort of those 3 pattern papers, or 2 pattern papers and a zip strip. So I glue this one here first, and then I realised that I probably should do the bottom bits before I stick this down. So I just let that rest there a little bit, and then I'm going to stick the other layers down first and build up to that one, just in case I didn't have enough. I had too much space at the bottom. I shouldn't have, but it was a just in case thing that I felt I needed to do it that way. So now I'm going to stick that final zip strip in, tucking it under the day. Now when I said before that I'd had a few problems with the Cricut and the cutting, so I had started cutting this birthday cut file out, and then it wasn't working, so I cancelled that and I spun the paper around and cut it again. So you'll notice that there's a little bit missing off my Y, but there's no problem with that because I'm going to cover that with a little embellishment, which I've stuck that cake down there to cover that up, which I thought worked quite well. And so now I'm just trimming off a little bit more off some of those photos, and I'm going to back them with some different pattern papers just to make them a little bit more interesting rather than just photos stuck on a page. So I'm pulling out that dotty one, which I said was my favourite, and I was a bit disappointed there wasn't quite enough to do all 4 of the photos, but that, never mind, I will have to purchase some more of that collection. So I'm just going to trim around there, and then using a few more of the papers, probably some of this blue, to back some other things. And here's some Picture My Life cards. Now I've used a few of these on my week in review, or my week 8, so that of the my birthday week I used these Picture My Life cards for that, so you can pop back and see the video I did last Tuesday if you want to see more of those cards. But that sort of plaid, the bright colours and stuff, was perfect for backing the photo of myself up there. So now I sort of play around with the arrangements of some of these pictures, and yep, happy with sort of how that placement's looking, how they're sort of falling down the page, and how those Polaroids just sort of tuck in there and have a really lovely sort of feel with that watercolour aspect to them. So now I'm going to stick these down, starting with the photo of myself on my 46th birthday. And yeah, tucking a couple of those gifts down the bottom. So my husband gave me some really nice earrings and a couple of ABL candles, which are a beeswax based candle with a wood wick, and they smell absolutely gorgeous. And I had a lovely gift dropped off by my friend Mel at school. It happened to be dropped off after I'd already gone home, but I had a nice surprise to wait to open the next day when I got to school. The girls also got me some nice cheese from Mercer Cheese when they were up together in the North Island sort of a month or so ago, but that's all well gone by now. And they also purchased for me a nice earring holder from a friend, Julie, who does some pottery up in the Waikato as well. So those were two lovely gifts, but they were opened a bit earlier than on my birthday. So these are the acrylic dots that also came with this collection, so they tie in nicely to all of the colours that I've used, and I'm just tucking them in at various points, and they tie in nicely with the acrylic gloss sprays as well. So just placing those there, and here's some close-ups of the layout that I've created. Remember, hop down below, have a look at the links of the other people who have created for the Confessions of a Paper Addict birthday hop, and also remember that there is a great birthday discount that you can use in the Etsy store. Thanks for watching, and I hope you will check out some of the other layouts created for the Confessions of a Paper Addict birthday hop.